The Whiz Kicks struggled tonight in Summer League action, losing to the Spurs 96-85. We're going to talk about Johnny Davis and Bilal Coulibaly. And we're going to talk about the rest of the team, how they really struggled tonight. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. So the Washington Wizards dropped an ugly, inefficient game against the Spurs, 96-85. Most of the team struggled. When your high scorer is Xavier Cooks, it tells you a little bit about how the game went. But we're going to focus on two young building pieces in Johnny Davis and Bilal Coulibaly. So both of them struggled, but they both had their moments, but overall they struggled. kind of dissect how it went tonight, man.
Okay, I'll start with the positives with Bilal. I love another chase down block. I love that. He did hit a pull-up three. He did make a shot where he went to the basket, had 10 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, and 3 blocks. So he's a guy that can be a 5-5-5 guy. He can be a guy that gets at least 5 points, like at least 5 boards, at least 5 assists. But he still is struggling to shoot the ball from the outside. We knew that coming in when we drafted him. It was going to be a work in progress. The shot is very, very slow. He had 1 air ball, 1 shot that went off the side of the rim. So he's still struggling from the 3. And they still are leaving him open. They still are daring him to shoot the 3, and he's still struggling from the 3. So it's a work in progress. 1 for 5 from the 3-point line. The handle is still very loose, but they did let him bring the ball up, and he did play point sometimes. He was the guy initiating the offense. He was the guy bringing the ball up. Thought he had a couple nice pick and roll passes. He had a really nice pass to the big man Alexander, where Alexander had a and one. Then he had a time where he had the ball to pick and roll. He got to the paint. He got caught in some traffic, went behind the backboard, threw the ball off the backboard, lost the ball there. There was a time where he drove to the lane and fell and lost the ball there as well. So it's kind of a roller coaster ride with Bilal offensively. Defensively, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get chase down blocks. You're going to get some tough rebounds for him where he's skying over guys. But still, the offensive game has a little ways to go, a long ways to go. Ball handling definitely has some work. He's dribbling the ball a little too high, still a little loose with the handle. But I like that he's taking threes right now because he's got to get those shots up right now. He's got to get the kinks out. The only way he's going to get better from three is by shooting it. Does he need to take the ball to the basket a little bit more? I would love that too. I would love him to be a little bit more aggressive in transition. I thought he passed up some shots, passed up some opportunities that he had. So I think he definitely can be more aggressive. Of course, you talked about him getting bigger in the weight room. So it's definitely a work in progress. I did see some good things, and he's just a big ball of energy. He's running the floor, getting back on defense, takes pride on the defensive side of the court for sure. So definitely some things I liked, and we just know that he definitely has a little ways to go on the offensive side of the ball. So, and Will Dawkins said it, they're not going to take the easy route. They're going to look to develop Bilal, and they see the potential for him. Only 18 years old, but definitely I want to see him work on that shot this offseason and during the season, of course, and working on that handle. And I think there's a lot of potential there, but he's definitely got to put the work in, and I think he definitely will for sure. Moving on to Johnny. Once again, another rough shooting night for him. 4 for 15 from the field. So looking at his numbers overall from the summer league, just pulling up his stats. He's 18 for 49 from the summer. He's 18 for 49 from the field, 36% from the field, which is pretty darn bad. He had a good start though. He got a tough and one, was finishing in transition, and he's getting more open looks than what he did in summer league. He's looking more summer league last year. He's looking more confident than what he did in summer league last year. But the touch is still off. He's missing floaters short. Still not hitting the three. He hesitated a little too much for me this game. There was a time where he got the ball at the top of the key, had an open three, not a wide open three, but in the NBA, you just got to let it go. You got to let it fly. You can't think too much. This is not Wisconsin where you can think, dribble, pull up from the mid range. This is the NBA where even in the summer league, they're going to close out to you and get on you very quickly. Where he just should have shot the three, hesitated, missed it off the side of the rim. He got blocked right before halftime, or in the second half, got blocked by City Sissoko, where I thought he could have finished stronger. The mid-range game has just been off. The touch has been off. The field's been off. 3-point line. He wasn't a great shooter in college either. Still missing some wide open threes as well. I just want to pull up his numbers too. So yeah, and I'm not going to stat watch too much in the summer league, but just being objective with Johnny, he still has to get that touch and still kind of creating a shot for himself, creating more. I want to see some counter moves, some double moves from him. I was watching Nick Smith from the Hornets before this game. Of course, he doesn't have a bag like Nick Smith, so it's kind of not a fair comparison. But just watching Malachi Branham too, and what he did on the other end, other things that Malachi Branham did, step throughs. He made other moves to get open, and he could just shoot the ball better than Johnny. And Malachi Branham, he had a stinker of a game last game. Like he went 1 for 17. So, he had some up and down games himself in the NBA last year and in the summer league so far. But you watch other two guards and what they're doing, other counter moves, and they're able to get open and create a shot for themselves. It's just like Johnny's still kind of struggling with that and the in-between game. So just looking at those two guys, their offensive game, they definitely had a roller coaster of a ride tonight offensively, Bilal and Johnny. Johnny was 0 for 2. He did rebound the ball well, 8 boards, 12 points. So they're doing other things. Defensively, I thought Johnny was fine, even though, he was guarding Malachi. Malachi was just cooking everybody. But I thought they did other things on the court, but offensively, they both have a ways to go.
Yeah, they both in their own way contributed. Like you said, Johnny Davis, 8 rebounds. And Bilal, obviously the defense is there, but you see the potential. Yeah, there's obviously potential there, but they need work. They both need work. And this game highlighted that. Looking at Johnny Davis, man, efficiency, man, name of the game. He needs to be efficient. 4 for 15. This is pretty much the average stat line for JD, man. Efficiency has been taking a hit all 3 games. So with him, man, it's about quality, not quantity. You got to have quality looks, man, high IQ looks, man. Stop forcing it. And it kind of goes the same way for Bilal, man. They're trying to do too much. Bilal, if you look at his 3-point shots, looking at his stat line, he shot 1 for 5 from 3. And really, 4 out of the 5 shots were low percentage 3-point shots. Either they had a hand in their face, a hand in his face or whatever, but he's rushing it. He's trying to do too much. Settle down, let the game come to you. Saying that, they both need to be more aggressive, man. Now, both of them were very hesitant at times. Now, I know Johnny Davis had a few drives, man. I believe he had and one, but Bilal's got to be more aggressive. He's got to drive the lane. That's how you get to the free throw line. That's how you open up the offense, man. They've got to be more aggressive. They got to be, contain aggressiveness. Don't be too aggressive, but be enough. It's just so. You see the potential. With Johnny Davis, it's frustrating because you see the score in him. He's a scorer, but it's just, this shot, man. I don't know, man. This 3-point shot. I don't know if it's footwork. To me, it looks like footwork, but it's just off. His footwork. I don't know how his leg is, but when I look at him shoot, man, the shot is just off, man. So he's got to work on that shot. He's got to work on it. Obviously, he's still not blown past anybody. So like you said, you brought up a good point about Branham, man. Learn some moves, man. You got to really work on your game because if you're not a player who's going to blow by anybody, then your IQ's got to be that much higher. Then you got to really put the time in to have that many more moves because you can't go off of athleticism because we both know he's not blown past anybody. So it's just they got some work, man. Looking at Coulibaly, 3-point shot again, low percentage shots, but just needs work. It's a slow release. He's giving people an opportunity to get to close out. He's got to work on it. Again with him, aggressive, not passive. He's very passive when he brings the ball up. If you've got the avenue to attack the paint, take it. I get it. I get setting up the offense, but look, that's pick the pace up, man. If you see the avenue to drive, man, drive. And he was very hesitant. So look at both of these guys, man. Before we move on, it's just you see the potential there. There's obvious potential there. It's just they've got to find that dog in them. The same dog they have on the defensive end, reignited in an offensive end. Because they're putting up, Johnny Davis, man, he's got to control chucking up the ball 15 times a game and only hitting 4 shots. He's got to slow down a little bit. Like I said, be more efficient. And I think that, the more and more they get playing time, they're going to settle down and they're going to, so I think, it's the third summer league game. They're trying to show what it can do, but it's just they both need work. Defensively, they're on point. I love what I see from both of them on the defensive end. They're dogs, but on the offensive end, they need work, man. So Before we get into the rest of the Whiz Kids, man, because it wasn't much better. You got anything else you want to cover as far as these two?
No, that's it right now.
Got you. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about Patrick Baldwin and the rest of the guys, man. Before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by Birddogs. Birddogs makes you look good. Birddogs stretch khaki shorts are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. I got a pair on right now. I can't really bring the camera down, but you're just gonna have to trust me. Birddogs shorts do the exact same thing as Lululemon, but fit way better. They fit way better than regular shorts that are made of stiff, restricting cotton. Birddogs fixes this issue by inventing cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki but stretches, so you can get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement, which is key for a big dude like me. Birddogs uses anti-stink sweat wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNBA and enter promo code LockedOnNBA for a free Yeti style tumbler. Trying to tell you, both me and E got one. They are dope. That's birddogs.com/LockedOnNBA or promo code Locked On NBA for a free Yeti style tumbler. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you. So we're gonna get right back into it, man. Looking at the rest of the roster, it wasn't much better. If you look at Patrick Baldwin, he struggled tonight. We were talking at the beginning of the episode, man, when Xavier, I'm not trying to throw any shade on Xavier Cooks, man, but if he's your top scorer, that's telling you how this game kind of went. But I mean, if you look at the rest of the roster, you saw glimpses, but was this just a trash game for everybody? Or, can you get anything positive out of this game?
It's a learning and developing, moment for them. It's the summer league, so they struggled shooting the 3-ball. They struggled to stop Malachi. They didn't know their personnel. I thought they had a chance to win. The fourth quarter is where it really, really broke away. They lost the fourth quarter by 10 points. Malachi hit like 3 or 4 threes in the fourth quarter, so that's where I thought they let it get away from them. Johnny just couldn't hit shots. He had some open looks. He just couldn't hit them. That's a positive. Would be the other things than scoring that Bilal did. He had 6 boards, 4 assists, had a couple blocks as well. So he did other things. I think he's going to be a really good defender to start off from day one. And the offensive game will come. Only 18 years old. So that's the positive I'll say about Bilal. I'll say Rollins did a good job of getting to the basket. He struggled to shoot 2, 6 for 17, 13 points. I thought he did a good job getting downhill, getting to the basket. Quentin Jackson looked a little bit more settled down. I thought he did some good things defensively, just being a little disruptive here and there. And then Pat Baldwin came back down to earth, 0 for 6, 2 points, 6 boards, 3 assists. And he had some open looks too, but he was just short. He had a nice pull-up that he hit the other game. He was short on that. Then had an open 3. He was short on that again. So can he do other things when he's not hitting threes? We were hard on Davis Bertans. I'm not going to compare him to Bertans, but when you're not hitting shots, you look at a guy Bertans and he just didn't provide anything else. Can Baldwin rebound? Can he defend? Can he make the extra pass when he's not hitting shots? Can he do other things? Can he get to the basket when he's not hitting threes? You're 6'10". Don't forget that. Can you post somebody up, hit a turnaround jumper? Can you hit a pull-up jumper and just rise up over your defender? Because you're 6'10", man. Can you cut to the basket? Can you catch a lob? The only point he scored was off of a lob in transition. So, you got to remember that he is 6'10". There's other things that you can do than just shoot threes. I thought Bernard showed some flashes here and there, 7 points. He had a pull-up 3 as well. Alexander's done a good job finishing around the rim. The big man, 5 points, 4 boards, had an and 1. And that's really, Xavier Cooks, 7 for 10, 16 points, 10 boards. He had a double-double. I thought he finished well around the rim, had a couple dunks. A lot of the things he made were spoon-fed buckets, easy buckets that Rollins got him. Bilal got him a couple easy baskets. Johnny Davis got a couple easy baskets. Johnny did a good job looking up in transition and pass it to Xavier Cooks. I do remember that in transition, a nice fast break pass to Xavier Cooks for a dunk. I thought he did a good job finishing around the rim. He did now. Xavier Cooks did bring the ball up one time. He got stripped and ripped. I was laughing a little bit at that because, just seeing him bring the ball up. Vukcevic. I thought defensively he tried. He gave some effort here and there. The Spurs, they got a guy named Dominic Barlow, who's a really athletic big. He ended up with 20 points and 7 boards. Not all of that was on Vukcevic, but some of their bigs definitely were able to score in the paint. And who else stood out tonight? And he had a step back 3 on 1, and he finished around the rim pretty well. He had a nice dunk, easy dunk as well. So I thought he had some flashes. Defensively, still work in progress. Didn't get a lot of minutes, 20 minutes tonight compared to some other guys like Johnny Davis got 27 minutes, Rollins got 25, Bilal got 29. I thought Vucevic could have got a little bit more minutes tonight. I thought they could have looked a little bit for him in the post too, and I thought they missed him on some pick and pops and pick and rolls too. I thought they could have looked for him a little bit more than what they did. But overall, yeah, it's a work in progress for sure, and it's a developmental moment. They went 5 for 28 from the three. Just looking at some other stats tonight, 5 for 28 from the three. They didn't shoot well from the free throw line, 18 for 26. They only got 6 steals tonight, where last game they got like 15. They had 12 blocks though, which is really, really good. 16 turnovers. Got to cut down on the turnovers next game when they play on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, 12 blocks, that is one encouraging sign, but yeah, that's just a massive struggle, man. I mean, I agree with Vucevic. They definitely should have gave him more opportunities and much more time. But I mean, Patrick Baldwin Jr., man, he just struggled, and I totally agree with what you're saying. If you're gonna have a struggling shooting night, 6'10", look, man, you gotta contribute in other ways, man. Rebound, get you back to the basket, something. I'm with you on that. But Rawlings, man, looking at it, I'm 6 for 17, 1 for 6 from the field, man. He struggled tonight, but I'm trying to tell you, obviously there's summer leagues, young team, they all need work in respective areas, but Rollins, man, I would not mind him in the future being a backup point guard. I mean, he's electric, man. He's got, he does push the ball, he plays with energy. So yeah, it was an off-shoot night for him, but overall, man, so far I like what I see from him. But Xavier Cooks, I'm trying to tell you, man, I was laughing because there was a few times where they gave him the ball to bring the ball up, and he was terrified, man. He was terrified, and I felt bad for the brother, man. But yeah, I mean, he had a decent stat line. I mean, 16 points, 10 board, 3 blocks, but he's got to add a jumper. He's got to add other things to his game, man. He's very one-dimensional, man. He's kind of like Anthony Gill. He reminds me of Anthony Gill, man. I guess a slightly more athletic Anthony Gill. So, guy who, he's going to do these small things, but he's just not going to wow you with his game. But yeah, man, I mean, Quentin Jackson, 6 points. It was a struggling game, but again, you see the potential. I'm not, looking too much into this game. It's the third summer league game. They're filling each other out. It's just you see encouraging signs. Defensively, when they play as a team defensively, I felt like they're on point at times, and then they kind of let it slip. But consistency as far as defense, you got guys on here who can defend. And again, Coulibaly and Johnny Davis, they can defend at a high level. It's just adding that offense, man, and they got to put the work into it. It's just again, before we roll, man, when it comes to Johnny Davis, it's more efficiency. Just don't chuck the ball up to chuck the ball up. Take high percentage shots. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's what I want to see from him. And Bilal, you have that dog in the defensive end, man. I love what I see from him in the defensive end. Just he's got to have that dog in the offensive end. Drive the lane, collapse the offense, man. Indeed, they're trying to make him a playmaker, trying to make him a guard. Look, John Wall made millions based off just exploiting defenses on the transition. If you got the avenue to drive, man, drive. Don't bring the back up and try to set up the offense. No, if you got an avenue to hit the lane, hit the lane. And that's the hesitancy for him to do that is really what I saw tonight, man. So yeah, go ahead, move on, man. Before we roll on to comments, man, you got anything else you want to cover when it comes to the game, G?
No, I'm looking at the comments and people. I just want to thank everybody for being up with us at 1 a.m.
Yes,
in
sir.
the morning on the East Coast. But yeah, the comments are definitely pretty funny. They got a lot to say. So we're gonna get to that. Before we get to that, today's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Sometimes in life, we're faced with tough choices, and the path forward isn't always clear. When you're dealing with decisions like picking a career or a new job, dealing with inflation, or dealing with relationships, it's a lot to think about. Therapy helps you stay connected to what you really want while you navigate life so you can move forward with confidence and excitement. Trusting yourself to make decisions that align with your values is like anything. The more you practice it, the easier it gets. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries, and empowers you to be the best version of yourself. It isn't just for those who experience major trauma. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. Just want to thank you guys for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. Every day is tomorrow on the show. We'll be talking about, we might be doing a mailbag. There's a lot of options we can go with. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. All right, let's get to some of these comments here. I guess we'll start from the top here.
Yes, sir.
I guess we'll go with let's start off with the Israeli fandom. Let's get it started off hot, man. Let's get it started off hot and early, hot and ready. So I know a lot of people say Israeli fandom is a troll and not to take what he says seriously, but I do think Israeli fandom says some things with his chest. I think he really believes some of the stuff he says. But he says, why do you guys baby Johnny Davis but critique everything about Denny? Last year, Johnny was the worst rookie in the league. Was he the worst rookie in the league? I got to look that up, to be honest with you. But I'm not going to debate who the worst rookie in the league was.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to go there on that. We don't baby Johnny. We were pretty hard on Johnny. Like, I was one of the first people to say that he needed to be in the G League in the summer league last year because a lot of people gave me pushback on that. A lot of people said I was crazy for saying that he should have been in the G League after the first 2 summer league games. I saw that like he couldn't get past anybody. Looked like he was in quicksand. You know, the running joke was that he had Timberland boots on. He couldn't get by anybody. You know, Brandon joked him on the Greenberg and Betterman a commercial. So I know Israeli fan, you watch this show or listen to the podcast way too much to say that we baby Johnny Davis. We have been very objective on him. I think we've been honest about him. We haven't been, we haven't gone out our way to go hard on him, but we've been honest about him. And just like every other player on the team, we've been honest about. So we definitely haven't baby Johnny Davis at all, in my opinion. And we've been honest about him tonight. He had a really bad shooting tonight. He's had a bad shooting summer league overall. But what I will say, he's been more aggressive. He's been more aggressive and he's been a little bit more decisive. And he still has a long ways to go with being decisive and aggressive and taking wide open shots that he has, and just knocking down mid-range shots that he has, and just having touch and feel around the rim and around the basket in the mid-range game. So, yeah, I mean, you look at a guy across from Malachi Branham, and Malachi Branham kind of taught him a lesson on how to be a young two guard in this league. So, I thought we've been pretty honest about both guys.
Oh man, we criticize everybody. I mean, Bradley Beal got to smoke more than anybody last year.
Right.
Man. Come on now, you watch it more than enough, man, to know. I mean, we give everybody the smoke, man. We are equal opportunity smokers, man, straight up. So let's see. Go with Desan. Really. Desan says really impressed with this team so far. Tyus, Poole, Corey, Kuz, Gaff should start. Rollins, Bilal, Denny, PBJ, and Tristan should be second team.
I think we'll answer that. We'll answer that tomorrow because that's a good one. Because
that is good.
A lot of people have been at. So we'll save that for the mailbag. DC above all says, "Why is Xavier Cook still on this team?" Brandon, I'll let you take that one first.
Thank you, sir. I don't know, man. I question the fact that Tommy signed him to a multi-year deal. I don't know. I mean, that you see the athleticism, man, but I mean, he's at a jumper or something. I mean, look, man, you're a professional. You should not be terrified to bring the ball up, man. I get it. Not everybody should be bringing the ball up, man, but bro, you need to at least have something like an average level of dribbling. Like, I don't know, man. He's athletic, but like I said, he's kind of like Anthony Gill. He's a hard worker.
Mm-hmm.
He does the small things that not necessarily statistical, but he's not going to wow you. It's just he needs work, man. And that's why I questioned him when we signed him to that multi-year deal. I just didn't understand signing a guy who's very raw, coming over from a league that's very different from the NBA, let's be real, to a multi-year deal. So, good question.
Yeah, the one game he didn't play, we won. So I'm just not going to say that's why we lost today. But, yeah, you'd rather see the young guys get more opportunities. Maybe Vucevic could have got more minutes. I said that Vucevic only got 20 minutes. I thought he should have. Vucevic, in my opinion, should be playing 30 minutes.
Yeah,
in the summer league, he should be getting as many minutes as he can get. And Xavier Cooks, he plays hard, can't shoot the three, has no outside game at all, can't handle the ball. I think Anthony Gill can actually stretch the floor a lot more than what Cooks does. And Anthony Gill's not that great of a three-point shooter either. There's a little nugget that Anthony Gill. There's a EuroLeague team that has interest in Anthony Gill. I saw that today, so we'll probably talk about that tomorrow. So he might not even be on the roster this year. He might be going back overseas. Anthony Gill, as far as Anthony Gill. But yeah, he's athletic. He reminds me of Joakim Noah. He kind of plays similar to Joakim Noah, like the old school kind of style. But Xavier Cooks doesn't even give you a mid-range jumper. Like Joakim Noah at least gave you a mid-range game. He had a mid-range game. So, but yeah, he plays with a lot of energy, plays with hair on fire, but he should never be dribbling the ball. Never.
No.
And he showed that today. He got ripped instantly, and the Spurs had an easy layup. So, but yeah, he's a Tommy Shepard guy. So I don't know how much longer he'll be on the roster.
I feel bad for him, man, bringing the ball up. He's terrified. Good God.
Yeah, he said, Angry Wizard fan said, what was Tommy Shepard thinking giving Cooks a 4-year deal? Seems like a good person, but he's not an NBA player.
No.
NBL MVP, though.
Says, the song says, Johnny's starting to hesitate when shooting again, is leading to some bad misses. Hope he doesn't start doing that long-term again. I'm rooting for him, but that's the quickest way to the bench.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm with you. I mean, he frustrates you, man, because you see the scoring potential in Johnny, man. It's just he shoots a lot of low percentage shots, man. He's got to chill on that.
Yeah, the first two games, well, the Celtics game, he had a wide open three, or not a. The thing is, he has to understand that not everything's gonna be wide open. Sometimes you just got to take the shot. You just got to take it, and this is the time to get the kinks out and the misses out. The Rockets game we went to, he was 5 for 20 in that game. A lot of the games, even last year, where he was starting to score more, they weren't efficient. So he would have games like he's having right now, like 5 for 16, or he would take 20 shots to get 20 points, or 15 shots to get 15 points. So I haven't really seen an efficient game from him yet, but I do like the aggressiveness. He may never ever get that first step to get by guys, but he's got to find ways to get himself open and knock down shots and just create some type of offensive bag for himself. His game was based on the mid-range game of Wisconsin, and it's kind of hard to do that in the NBA, especially when guys are just better defenders and they're quicker than guys in the Big Ten that you're playing against. So he's still trying to find his way in the league. It's unfortunate to see him struggle in the summer league, but it's only year 2. And once again, they didn't draft Johnny, so I don't know what Will Dawkins and Slank and Michael Winger think of him. Yeah. He might be on his way out after the season. We'll see. So it's the developmental year. We'll see where he gets minutes. If Shamet is still on the team, I don't know. We'll see. I think he'll still get minutes, but we're going to talk about the lineup tomorrow because you got Poole, Johnny, Shamet, and Corey is really a 2 more than a 3.
Yeah.
So it's just an awkward fit right now with the roster. So we'll see how the minutes going to be dispersed. It really is. It's a really weird, awkward fit with the guys right now. So, but if Johnny plays like that, yes, it will be kind of tough for him to get minutes. But if he can go out there and defend, then I can see him getting 10 to 15 minutes per game.
Yeah, man, but you can't shoot the ball 15, 20 times, man, and hit like 6 shots. You got to be more efficient in that, man. He's got to be more efficient. Let's see. Israeli Phantom says Johnny's shots 25% tonight. He's solid as a defender, but a liability on offense. Can't argue with that.
Yeah. Do you see him in the G League again this year, or no?
Man, I hope not, man, because that's it. I mean, look, straight up, man. If he goes to the G League again, that's it. As far as him being a long-term piece on this team, that's it. He's not. Especially you already said he's a Tommy guy, man. I mean, if he goes to the G League again, he's it as far as being any kind of potential starter or any kind of building block for this team. So, I mean, if I'm Johnny, man, I'm trying to settle down and get more efficient because, like I said, he go back to the go-go, man. Look, he's gonna be there for a minute, and they got no loyalty. They didn't draft him, so
right. Yeah, I don't think he'll play in the G. I don't think it will be helpful for him to play in the G. Like, I think he needs to play in the league and get experience there. I don't think he'll be. He just needs to play. He needs to play.
Yeah.
And it's sink or swim for him. I don't want to compare him to Jerome Robinson, a guy that played for the Wizards, and he was kind of he had a similar game to Johnny Davis, similar build, similar kind of look and feel. And he's not in the league anymore, so I don't want him to go down that path.
His defense is going to keep him in the NBA because he can defend at a high level. He's got to work on offense, but now him and Bilal, man, already they have elite defense. They're dogs in defense. It's just finding that offensive skill set.
Right. Yeah. Bente says Cook showed the ability to handle in the open floor. That's a little debatable there. Bilal was good defensively. Yes, I do agree with that. I felt the coaches tried to get him downhill more with dribble handoffs, but the lane was pretty close tonight. Yeah, I think they definitely tried their best to get him comfortable in the pick and roll tonight, and I thought it was a roller coaster. He had some good moments, and he had some moments where he was losing the ball, losing the handle, made some errant or array passes tonight. But I saw some flashes. Made a good pass to Vucevic, made a nice pass to the big man Alexander. So I definitely saw some good flashes and some good reads for him from Bilal tonight.
Yeah, Bilal. I mean, like you said, him and Johnny, they both had. You see the potential, man.
Mm-hmm.
You see the potential. That's why I made a statement. I see Israeli fandom. Shout out. Already got me on about the 15 points a game comment, and I said that because I said that because look, if he can settle down and be efficient, he can score 15 points a game. It's just there you go. It's just he's so inefficient, man. He chucks it up so many shots, and it's so I get it. Sometimes you got to shoot that tough shot. But I mean, he's struggling on wide open looks, man. I mean, it's just he's got to work on that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Guru Strong says you can definitely compare him to Jerome Robinson. Yeah, I don't want to just yet. I don't want to just yet. I don't want to do that just yet. I think there's still some time for him. I really do. Alonzo Skins Nation said if West doesn't pan out, I hope he does, and who replaces him in at least the 10th seed, right? That's a good question for a mailbag. So we'll do that tomorrow. XXDOTXX says, I do think Johnny and Bilal do similar things. Not sure they will play together during the season unless one can shoot better. Yeah, and that's the thing with the lineup too. You don't want to put two non-shooters out there.
Yeah.
It would be tough with that. And that's the thing with Denny starting too. I would love to see him start, but last year he started and he struggled from the 3-point line. And West had to make a move, and I thought Porzingis shot the ball better when Denny was sat, when Denny came off the bench. XXR.XX also says, why we're so enamored with players that can shoot but do nothing else. We need some players that can do the little things that win games. We love defenders. We love Denny's defense. We love Bilal's defense so far. I love when those guys. We love Gaffer when he goes out there and block shots and can rebound there and then go out and defend. So we definitely love our defenders out there too. So, I mean, it's easy to fall in love with guys that hit shots. It's an offensive league still, in my opinion. I think defense, of course, it can win championships, but sometimes it is a make or miss league.
Right now, they ain't making anything.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's what happened.
Struggling, man.
Malachi went out there and hit shots, and we just couldn't hit 3. We're 5-28 from the 3.
Man, you said the right comment, man, when you said that, Malachi Branham has shown what you need as a 2-guard. That's how you need to play in this league. He was cooking, man. I mean, you see such a big gap between him and Johnny Davis, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really
Nick Smith from the Hornets too. You saw what Nick Smith did. He had 33 tonight.
And I mean, I'm hoping that Johnny figures it out, man. But let's be real. You see a gap in talent with those two gentlemen with his name and Johnny, man. Just that, like you said, if you can't blow past people, you got to figure it out. You just got to figure it out. Because I don't see him ever developing the ability to blow past anybody in this league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Griffin Peters says JD and Bilal do a lot of good stuff outside of scoring. Yeah, I thought JD played with effort on the defense side of the ball.
Yeah. But
honestly, he's got to pick it up. He can't go 5 or 20. It just can't keep happening. Every game, you can't go out there and shoot 4 for 15. You got to pick it up sometime on the offense side of the ball. Bilal, he's doing good stuff as well. But of course, you got to be a two-way player. You got to improve with your ball handling and shooting. He's 18. I think he's super talented. I love the block, love the energy. But yeah, you got to be objective and have to be able to critique both guys and be honest. Just like Israeli fandom said, we got to be honest and critique everybody.
I mean, look, is it really unfair? You got to be able to score a daggone basket. I mean, you can defend all day. If you can't put the ball in the hole, what are we talking about?
And I hate to interrupt, but that's the thing with the bench last year. When we traded Rui, where did the scoring from the bench go? And we struggled to get scoring off the bench. We struggled in the second half of the season. We did have Turbo Denny for about a week, and then after that, Turbo slowed down. We didn't get much production off the bench. Kendrick Nunn couldn't hit anything off the bench, and we just didn't have any scorers off the bench, and that hurt the team.
I mean, watching both Bilal and Johnny Davis, man, they're not complete trash when it comes to offense. They're raw. It's tough to watch right now, but here's the thing. You see potential in their offensive game. It's just, but for both of them, it's just letting the game come to them and being more efficient. When Coulibaly hit that 3, that was nice form. It's just working on that faster release. It's just, they need work, but they're not lost offensively. When you're already above average on defense, then yeah, we can sit and especially we're rebuilding. We can wait on that offense side to kind of come to them. You know what I'm saying? But they're not lost on offense, man. I like what I see from them. It's just they got to let the game come to them. They're trying to do too much, and it's expected, man. Being high draft picks in summer league, but
right, and this is where you improve. So we're
Yeah.
gonna wrap it up tonight. It is very late. It's 1:30 a.m. on the East Coast. Brandon, is there anything else you wanted to read or say before we wrap it up?
No, sir. I appreciate everybody staying up with us, man. Chopping up ball tonight, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just want to thank you guys for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. Now, for tomorrow, we might be doing a mailbag episode, or there's a lot of things to talk about the middle build or rebuild, the direction of the team, lineups, etc. Even Jeff Van Gundy, or since he got let go from ESPN, he might be looking to coach with the Wizards, so we'll possibly talk about that. We just want to thank you guys for listening, and make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and subscribe to us wherever you guys get a podcast. Hit the notification bell. Hail to the Wizards. Peace.